Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, finally we got some good news. Finally. You know that $33 billion in aid that is being requested so that it can go to Ukraine? Well, we are going to get some of that. Let me read this real quick for you all. The administration is asking Congress for $33 billion in funding to respond to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. We all know that. More than double of the $14 billion support that is already authorized. All right, so they're asking for $33 billion, there's $14 billion authorized. Ask yourselves, where is that money coming from? If we run a deficit every year, and a deficit means that you're spending more as a country than what you actually take in, so you're putting that on your credit card. If you're running a deficit, then where's that money coming from? All right, just ask yourselves that. Go ahead and leave it in the comments. The money is intended to last until the end of the fiscal year, only until September 30, ladies and gentlemen, and provide Ukraine with a more sustained guarantee of support as the war drags on. Now listen, I am all for helping my neighbor, even if the neighbor is all the way across the world. Believe it or not, I used to have one of those things back in the early 90s where every month you gave to be able to feed a kid overseas and stuff like that. I used to have one of those. I used to do that. I'm all in support of our neighbors, right? But we have to take care of ourselves first. And it looks like the administration is listening. And I am being hyperbolic and sarcastic, okay? Just in case you haven't realized that yet. All right, but it looks like they're listening to us, ladies and gentlemen, because if you go over here to Brownfield, where I get some of my news, it says that this president is asking Congress for $33 billion to address global food shortages and producer support, which is a good thing, isn't it? Wouldn't that be a great thing if the government had to steal our money anyways by printing it out of thin air and therefore reducing the value of the money that we've already earned, making everything for us more expensive? The only patriotic thing that they could do, ladies and gentlemen, is to take that money and invest it in our country, right? Well, they're doing this. For all of you that were like, they shouldn't be putting money into other countries unless they take care of us. Well, guess what? We're going to get 1.5% of that money, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to get 1.5% because look at this. The White House says that of the $33 billion, $500 million will assist in the production of domestic crops that are experiencing shortages because of the war in Ukraine. Now, what domestic crops in the U.S. are experiencing shortages because of the war in Ukraine? I don't understand that. I don't understand what they're talking about. How can a war outside of our borders affect how we can produce crops here in the U.S.? I know that the weather can affect it. I know that the price of fertilizer going up 3, 5, in some instances 10 times can affect it. I know that all of the input costs can affect it because everything is going up in price. Feed is going up in price while the commodities prices are going up but not really helping the farmers. I know all of those things can affect it, but how can giving $33 billion to another country help domestic production? Well, ladies and gentlemen, they fixed that problem. $500 million will go to us here in the United States. So at least we got a good 1.5% of that money that they're taking from us without our consent. It is disgusting. It is disgusting how you can get on the internet and spend less than a minute and see articles like this. Food shortages everywhere. Food pantries running out of food, not knowing if they're going to be able to get enough support to just sustain what they are now giving, and knowing that the need is going to rise even further. I mean, look at these. Look at these slides that I've got here. And look at this. I didn't even know about this, but Google actually created, I think they created an app or some kind of software that you can go to on your computer or on your phone to find out where the nearest food pantry is to you. But we are taking money out of the pockets, literally taking money out of the pockets of the American people so that we can send it somewhere else. to fix a problem that the government itself is responsible for. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not preparing, then you are wrong. If you are not getting ready for what's coming, then you are wrong. I went to the commissary yesterday, and when I went there, I didn't record or anything. I took some pictures, and I'll show you some of these pictures here, and in no particular order, but you can just take a look at them and the prices. But I saw some prices there, and I thought to myself, these are like third world country prices. I mean, like for a pack of Ziploc bags, like $11, or for a pack of 2 Ziploc bags, you know, for like a pack of 2. I forgot how much it is, but you'll see it here on the screen. But ridiculous money. And the reason that I say that these look like third world country prices is because I have a brother that lives in the Dominican Republic, and he tells me what the prices are over there. He tells me what he pays for the things over there. And I'm like, wow, that's incredible. So I go to the commissary just to check it out and see if I can get a couple of things. I actually was able to get some creamed corn because they don't carry the creamed corn at Costco, and we use creamed corn every once in a while to make a casserole that is a family recipe on my wife's side. But I'm looking at some of these prices. I'm like, oh my goodness. And like I said, I didn't really take a lot of pictures or take any video, but I looked at the meat and I noticed that the prices of the meat is not terrible, but the cuts were much cheaper cuts. Like their hamburger is not bad. I think they were $3.99 and $4.49 for the 2 different types of hamburger they had. But the other cuts were like the cheap cuts. So they weren't that expensive, but they were like the cheapest cuts. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, and butter at the commissary, butter is ridiculous. I couldn't believe the price of butter at the commissary. It's like $4 and change per pound. And I'm like, how can the commissary not compete with Costco? Whereas Costco's butter actually went up again. Now from $12.49 for a 4-pound block, now it's $13. It's $12.99. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I just thought that I'd bring you this great news that, you know, all is not lost. You know, our grateful government has decided to bless the American people in the way of providing some support to the American farmers of 1.5% of that $33 billion. I hope that you are getting ready. God bless every one of you. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that not everyone is in the part of their preparedness plan where they should be storing long-term freeze-dried food. But if you are, take a look at Nutrient Survival. I stand behind this food because it is the most nutrient-dense food in the market. It tastes great, they have outstanding customer service, and the company is run by great people that I call my friends. You're not going to find a more nutrient-dense food that tastes good and is reasonably priced when compared to other major brands. I wouldn't stand behind Nutrient Survival if I didn't personally use it and love it. So feed your freedom with Nutrient Survival.